Hi guys, my name is Anand Hasbi and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Funny Finance Guy. In today's small episode, you can see that I'm trying to have a little bit more fun and I'm kind of shooting this episode outdoors amongst all the trees, amongst natures at the patio of my house. And so if there is something or someone just shouting some random stuff, I do apologize. Uh, I just wanted to change things up a little bit, not being so cooped up in the room and always talking to you guys, going outside in nature and talking and also sharing my thoughts with you guys about the market, especially during this time. So anyway, to recap, this channel last week, I don't know whether you guys watched that particular episode or remembered that I talked a little bit about the COVID cases and how, when a lot of people went to Sabah for the by-election, I was forecasting or I was thinking that with the by-election being held at that place, we could see that the COVID cases straddled between double digits, triple digits, double digits, triple digits. And another thing which I also observe is when going around, Klang Valley and also going around Malaysia, I noticed that the SOP isn't the strongest, where the government actually gave us guidelines, 1 meter distance, cover your mouth, and so on and so forth. But I could see that, also being a citizen of this country, we were a bit relaxed when it came to the SOP. And I had the forecast or the assumption that if things were to continue, I guess the cases would increase. And lo and behold, this week we could see that the number of cases just blew up. I think it hit the 400 region and then the 600 region. And yes, so things are not looking the best, I guess. So in this episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about that and new news which has been coming out and how we as investors and also we as also, I guess, fellow Malaysians can benefit or also take lessons from this situation which is coming out. So the next thing which I want to also highlight is that there was news about Khazanah looking towards maybe stopping funding MAS or the Malaysian airline system should MAS stocks fail to proceed or to succeed with their resource. So what does, I guess, the number of COVID cases and also the MAS talks with the leases all have to do with anything? Okay, so over here, we're just going to do a quick breakdown. And I already spoken about the, I guess, COVID cases. Right now, with regards to MAS, my view is are as follows. Number one, to put things into perspective, MAS is, an institution. Back in the day, I guess during my parents' time, about 40 years ago, MAS was very synonymous with being one of the top airlines in the world. And a lot of us Malaysians were so proud. I remember my parents traveling and using masks, and they kept telling us about how hospitable the airlines was. They had satay on board. They had also the baju kebaya, and we brought, I guess, our Malaysianness to the world. And that was MAS back in the day. It was synonymous with luxury. It was synonymous with bringing our culture all around the world. It was also serving the global community. So right now, with these talks, what does this basically signal to the market is, number one, that the government right now may not have that much of money. As we know that the government has been helping or has been giving a lot of handouts to the B40 and with regards to money so that they can survive this particular pandemic. And of course, I introduced this particular term whereby there is no free lunch. Should the government take some money from somewhere, they will to pay the B40. There's no such thing as a free lunch, whereby the someone will have to bear the losses. So over here, we can see that I think the first entity that has taken a bit of a beating would be MAS, whereby Khazanah are looking towards ways to maybe reduce the funding towards that particular company. On top of that, we could see that the impact of that is it signals that I guess the government may not have that much of money, and the impact it will send out, or the signal it will send out, is that maybe if things were to get from bad to worse, we could see a lot more harsh steps that may be taken to the industry or to a lot of GLCs or government-linked companies. Okay, so MAS is the first one to maybe get the impact. So how does all of this news impact us? Okay, with regards to the MAS, a lot of people, or a lot of stewardesses, and also pilots right now, they are there was some newspaper reports whereby these guys are undergoing some form of retraining, reskilling, or upskilling, whereby they, with their skills of being a steward or stewardess, they want to retool themselves or retrain themselves so as to be valuable workforce in other sectors. So the other sectors which are in questions would be the IT sector and also the sales force sector. So what does this whole garble mean in terms of you and me? Should more and more jobs be unsecured, and should more and more people be let go, what's going to happen is that they will start job searching. And should they start job searching, what will happen is that if say before this there was only one person to one job, so I guess employers would pay a certain amount. But all of a sudden, if there is 2, 3, 4, or maybe 5 people unemployed, eyeing that particular one job, all of a sudden it will be very difficult to get even our application for that job to be viewed by a particular employer. And the second is that in economic terms, when there is too much of supply, what will happen eventually is that the prices of things were to come down. Remember, at one time, even Malaysia had a bumper supply of durians, and the price of durians came down. So, in essence, what I'm trying to say is that it may impact salaries in corporate Malaysia. So that is a very worrying sign. The second thing which I want to say is that right now, looking at the number of cases spiking up and up and up, and certain restriction orders are being placed, I think that will impact corporate earnings. And when that impacts corporate earnings, a lot of P&L would shrink, or a lot of the profit for a lot of corporates will shrink, and that will also impact in cost cutting, and that may impact people's salary. So I just want to say over here, just be very careful. Start saving. Please, please, please start saving. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. Things are going to be a little bit difficult. So that's the first thing. On the flip side, however, what I want to say is that when the government gave that signal that they won't be helping MAS, you will see another airline counterpart, which is, I guess, the Air Asia. And right now, we could see Air Asia stock price kind of taking a beating. I think it was 62 cents, I think, closing yesterday. So as I mentioned to you in my previous episode, right now, there's going to be more and more companies and more share prices kind of taking a beating, going down. And when things are cheap, that's where we invest. Okay. So over here, the two main points I want to say is that while the stock market is giving super duper discounts, while it's a great time to invest, also please note that right now, the labor market, there is a lot of people in searching for particular jobs and also vying for certain positions, and corporate earnings are shrinking. Just be very careful and start saving so that should anything happen to our primary income, we will have a little bit of savings. And I hope that nothing bad really happens out there. But so that's what I have seen. And like I said, right now is a very good time and a very good opportunity for those who have extra income or extra money to invest in the stock market. I think in weeks and months ahead, should the number of cases increase, you would see that companies like involved in the tourism and also the travel industry, you can see that stock price may take a beating. And should that happen, that will help give us bigger discounts for these companies, and that will be the best time to invest in these companies. Remember how I said in my previous episode, stay away from maybe AirAsia right now, and also stay away from tourist type stocks, or stay away from mall type stocks, mall type REITs. Sorry, right now more and more I can see a buy indicator. Look towards buying discounters, and like I said, the strategy is break your investment pot into 10, and every time when the stock price were to go lower and lower and lower and lower, keep on buying at a better discount. So like I said, we cannot time the market. However, if we take things in 10 increments, what's going to happen is that we can actually time it as it continue going down. My view about, I guess, the airline stocks, I know AirAsia is not the most profitable. I know that P&L is not the strongest. So therefore, I'm not giving a very strong buy call on this stock. However, I'm thinking that this stock, should you want to be a more speculative investor, and should you think that everything will be a bed of roses, things would eventually subside and also things will be okay, I would look at AirAsia as a speculative stock, and I'll put a little bit of money in this stock. I'll tell you guys the truth. I'm going to put a little bit of money in this particular stock, and should things turn around, you will get the maybe 3-bagger or 4-bagger, or you earn maybe 3 times or 4 times your current investments if things should get better. But having said that, the reality is that right now Asia is not making that much of profit, and that's one of the reasons why I look at this as a more speculative stock. So with that, guys, I'm going to shoot another episode, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Hope to see you guys soon. If not, thank you so very much for being in this live episode, the fellow watcher. And should you like this particular episode, give me some thumbs up. And like I said, I'm going to try to be more out there for you guys. Should you have any questions, please do ask. And I thank you so much for the support and the new subscribers I'm getting. Take care, guys.